Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be sharing a breakdown of what celebrities like Omowunmi Dada, Timini, Frank Onyeka, Victor Boniface, and Bovi shared in a recent video. Webek Studios released a video on YouTube just 3 days ago tagged Behind the Glam, Our Real Struggles, featuring Bovi, Timini, Omowunmi Dada, Frank Onyeka, and Victor Boniface. These personalities share some really interesting stories about their hustle, how they started, their journeys, and up to the point that they talked about their first pay at the beginning of their careers. Why am I reviewing this video? Because I want you and me to learn from these people. For those of us who are just starting out, whatever niche you find yourself in today, it is important that we tap from the experiences of others who have passed through the same process so that we can understand what we are getting into and how to overcome the challenges that comes with it. So, I'll make it very snappy and just randomly pick some of the important things that were discussed. At the beginning of the video, they were asked if their first job was a paid job or, free as it usually is. Among other things that Bobby started with, writing was actually part of it. I didn't know that, as I've always known him as a comedian. Of course, I know he most definitely writes his own stories, like his own comedies, but this time it was actually a movie script. Unlike now that we have several script apps that you can use to make your job easier, like Fading, Final Draft, Cell Text, Writer Duet, Script Builder, and many more. Bovi actually wrote his first script by hand, like in a notebook. Unfortunately for him, the person who happened to be a producer read the script, liked it, and paid him 10,000 naira, which, according to him, he used to buy sneakers and a UPS. Timini, as a struggling upcoming actor at the time, also got paid on his first job, but of course, it wasn't a huge amount as he basically still needed to ask for his mom for money to sort out some of his needs. But of course, it was encouraging for him. Victor Boniface and Frank Onyeka shared their bits about how young footballers sometimes pay to get into a football academy and how some are just picked because of their talent. On Frank Onyeka's side, he had to pay to get into an academy, while Victor Boniface was selected because of talent. Omowunmi Dada was also lucky enough to get paid for her first musical participation with professionals. Also, as a presenter of Kids Alone Show, she also got paid. The second question: what is the one thing people assume about you that is not true? Timini clarifies that the general notion that he is a womanizer is not actually true, and that Nollywood has taken over his life in such a way that he barely has time to deal with lots of girls, as many people tend to assume. Of course, this part was actually very hilarious, as Bovi and Victor Boniface actually made jest of him, saying, "Is it true? Is it true?" Bovi, on his own hand, said the common public perception about him is that he is funny when he is not on stage, and that his real life is how he acts on stage. Off stage, he claims that he is a gentleman rather than an outgoing person, as people assume. Frank said on his part, people think he is rude. He said rather, he is a very shy and reserved person, but many people always interpret that he is rude and full of himself. Omowunmi said because she smiles a lot, most times people tend to think she's an extrovert. But the opposite is actually the case. She's actually an introvert and shy person. Then a question came from all of them. Do you get mistaken for someone else, or have you ever gotten mistaken for someone else? In this phase, only Wumi and Bovi have been mistaken for somebody else. Imagine going on your own JJly and somebody causes a scene calling you by somebody else's name. Like you want to call Bovi and you mention names like maybe Apororo in a public space. Do you know how embarrassing that is? He said before then he usually gets mad and upset about it, but as time goes on, he gets to know that many of those people actually do that from a place of love. So he finds a way to actually relate with people back in such situation. Then another question came: what part of your hustle came from survival and what part came from vision? For Bovi, it was passion all through, and same for Boniface as well. Boniface then further shared a deeper secret here regarding his transfer to the Saudi League. Yeah, that same transfer that everybody was calculating the money on Twitter. Apparently, he had already dashed out some of his belongings, hoping for greener pastures and everything in Saudi. But of course, the deal eventually didn't go well, and he had to call back some people to collect some of his personal important belongings that he had already dashed out. He said that was one of the times he did some things for survival, but as for everything else, it was always about passion. Another question was, what lessons did you learn the hard way in the industry? Boniface went first on this one as he shared his bit by advising people not to get all excited and hurry to sign contracts they don't fully understand. He shared a brief personal experience to back up his point, and it's affected his trust in people. Frank also advises the same. He said, get a lawyer and understand what is involved before signing any official document or contract. Boniface further mentioned that there are some times that people are actually very deliberate and wicked about stuff like this when they don't want you to know the content of the contract. Maybe when they have more things to gain about it, and you might be disinterested if you find out the whole content of the contract. He says some people, you would have gotten to the airport, seen the plane that is taking you out of the country to you are looking at the future right in your eye before they will not bring out the contract and tell you to sign. That time you won't even have time to read the contract. You just sign like, oh, just take me away from here. He said, calm down, read the contract, get a lawyer, go through it and see if you are putting yourself in a difficult situation or a good situation. Timini shared a valuable lesson. He said lost opportunities sometimes can be a blessing. Then he narrated how he couldn't get into the Big Brother show that year and then went ahead to get into MTV Sugar, which launched his career and brought him into light. Bovi's hard lesson is in life in general. He related it to the fact that most times one may not be able to control the circumstances around them, but you can control how you react to those circumstances. Same with Omowunmi. A lot of people can smile at you, but not all of them loves you, she said. She relates it to the fact that one needs to consider oneself in a situation first, then further think about how your decision in that situation may affect somebody else's life negatively. The next question was, when did people see you as an inspiration? Bobby said, generally, you just feel it. It is not easy for people to dedicate their time to watch your videos, follow you, listen to you, and everything. He narrated an experience relating to this, but I think you should watch the video to hear more about what he said. Timini also shared his own bit, like it is good to always hear people say, oh, I look up to you, oh, you've been an inspiration to me, oh, you've been this, or you've been that. Same with Omowunmi as well and Frank. I think at some point in their life, when people talk about how much impact they've made in their lives, it serves as an inspiration. But there's no particular time you can know that you're actually an inspiration unless some of these things starts coming around. The next question was, have you ever turned down a role you loved because it didn't align with your values? Omowunmi's answer was yes, as some of the roles didn't align with her own personal character. Timini has also had to turn down roles, of course, because even though he was getting jobs and making money, it was telling on him health wise, and he barely had time for himself. Sometimes it was because he had played a particular character way too many times. He also reverted to what Omowunmi said about choosing oneself. He said, if you fall sick now, they will find somebody else to play the role you are thinking you have to play. That's what he said. Bovi said he has turned down more movie roles than he has actually done. Of course, he had his reasons as well, which were really, really understandable. Next question was, you have made people laugh for years, but has there ever been a time when your own life was too heavy to joke about? Bobby said many times it has happened. He said he quickly gets drained from personal responsibilities, and the fact that some people think your life is a joke because of what you do or because of the profession or career paths you have chosen. He said it is very, very annoying. Boniface also added his experience where sometimes after losing a match, an important match, and receiving a hefty scolding from the coach, you still have to go out and see hundreds of fans lined up to take pictures with you, and you must put a smile on your face even when you are not happy. The next question was, what has success given you and what has it in turn taken from you? Boniface and Timini shared how difficult it is to go out, do some basic things like going to the supermarket, the bank, wherever basic places you will feel you want to go. They are not able to do that, and they talk about how risky it is to even make a common post on social media without being misquoted or interpreted by people who tweak your words and make it a bigger issue just for trending on any digital platform. They also share their bit about the struggle success has also brought to them. Victor Boniface talks about how they have to travel, how some footballers have to travel from to different places. Sometimes after a particular match, you have to go back to back to other matches in other part of the world. That is not easy, and sometimes you barely rest. Why me and you would think that you're still enjoying life? Yes, they are in that big position, but it still comes with some struggles, some challenges that they have to live with every blessed day. Then they went ahead to ask some random fire questions between talent or consistency. Boniface went for talent, Omowunmi went for talent, Timini went for consistency, Bovi went for consistency. Between support system and self belief, Boniface went for self belief. Between comeback with grace or fire, Boniface went with grace, Timini went with grace, Bovi went with fire, Omowunmi went with fire. Pain in private or public recovery, Boniface went with private, Bovi went with public, and so on and so forth, like that. So from these random fire questions, you get to know what they actually would believe in. So without emphasizing much, there are so many things we can learn from this video, especially those of us who look up to some of these people as mentors in our various career choices and paths. They've not always had it easy. Many of them came from struggle and they are still struggling, even though they are at a stage where we consider them a success. So before you bash a celebrity or just copy what they wrote, tweak it into something negative and repost just because you want to trend, you should think twice because they are also just humans like me and you. Next time you see a celebrity outside, try to understand the environment, the situation, the mood before jumping on him or her, all in the name of I'm a big fan. So I think it's beautiful that celebrities like this get to ask themselves direct questions about our lives, successes, and struggles. And with this, we even get to learn things we don't know about them, away from what people have stereotyped them to be. Before now, we always have them on shows where people who are not actually in their profession or who don't really know much about them just call them on their platform for them to be interviewed, and they also ask them some random questions and about them and all of that. But this is actually coming from their fellow celebs. Like imagine Timini asking Omowunmi questions, Omowunmi asking Timini questions, Frank Onyeka asking Victor Boniface questions. They are in the same field, so this is just about them sharing the experiences they are having in the course of their career. So for more gist and quality content like this, please subscribe to the channel, drop comments, and click on the notification bell for subsequent gist. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-da!